This show is basically my ideal movie night. Okay, so my favorite kind of movies, and these are movies for the culture. Okay, these are movies starring people that I admire, that I think the world admires. Our first movie for Friday Night Vibes is Creed and Creed 2, starring Michael B. Jordan, which I'm excited to see. It's one of my favorite movies, mostly because, Michael B. Jordan ain't got no shirt on most of the time, but it's a great movie also. It's about family. It's about, believing in yourself and moving forward. Now, on this show, we also have celebrity guests coming in talking about the movie that we're watching, which is something I love to do when I have movie night at my house. Bring my, invite my friends over and we chit chat about what's going on in the movie. We might pause the movie and be like, oh my goodness, did you just see that? How do you feel about this? What would you do? Blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to have musical guests on as well, which I'm super excited about, giving people an opportunity to shine and giving them a voice and a platform. I love, if you know me, I love to share my platform. And I'm super also excited about having a DJ, a bar. There's going to be a good times, a live audience. It's fun.
Well, that's amazing. Congratulations on that. I think most people would agree. Wow, any movie that features Michael B. Jordan without his shirt, probably a very good movie. Creed is among them. So we share your excitement on that. Look, obviously, I think a lot of people know here, diverse storytelling, increasing the themes of representation and inclusion in Hollywood, Tiffany. These are so important to you here. You've spoken the last year in the spirit of like social advocacy at various Black Lives Matter protests. And I'm wondering, have you seen this conversation shift in Hollywood in just the last year?
I mean, I don't know. Have I seen it? Heard it? Yes. Have I heard things? Yes. Seen things? I mean, definitely there is a change happening. I do feel that there's a change. Is it a drastic change? I don't know. We'll see. But there's a change. It's like having a messy room, a really messy room, and you start to clean it up. And at first, it seems like it's getting messier. But then when you step back and then you take a second, walk away, come back, you're like, oh, wait, it's actually getting cleaner. But it's going to take me about 4 days to clean this up. This might take more than 4 days, though. This whole situation that you brought up. But it's definitely being a dent in the room. It's definitely something's happening.
Absolutely. I really appreciate the candor of that response, and I'm just curious if there's anything specifically.
Wait, pause. What does candor mean?
Just the truth of the moment of what you shared. That it seems
means.
like,
okay,
hey,
cool.
You're acknowledging like maybe there's progress, but that perhaps it sounds to me as if you're saying, hey, we certainly have not done enough. Maybe it's a little bit of a progress in the right direction, but it sounds like there's certainly more work to do. And I know it's an important issue to you.
Yeah, well, we're all trying to move in. We're all trying to move in a direction of joy and happiness for everyone, right? Equality for everybody. That's like the American dream, right? I mean, but I don't know. Did you see that thing that just popped up in the Senate in Texas? Did you see that? That little what they was
the voting bill?
Did you saw that? Did you see that?
Yo, yeah.
Did you watch that
absolutely.
Video? Quite entertaining, huh? Yeah.
I certainly understand what you're saying. And Texas is not the only state. And I know that's something that concerns a lot of voting advocates. We've seen Georgia, we've seen New Hampshire measures, and a lot of other states as well. So thank you for that. And thank you for that. And I think that's really important for our viewers to hear. So I appreciate you allowing me to ask you that question. I'd love to ask you about hosting.
Yeah, and I'm really excited about the day that the show is coming out on June 18th, which is, Father's Day weekend, but also the weekend of Juneteenth. So I'm very excited about that. So we'll be talking about Juneteenth too in the show.
That's great to hear you say.
Because they're trying to take stuff out of the educational books. They're not trying to teach our kids. So I figure, well, we might as well drop it in the entertainment. Got to learn it somewhere because it has to be learned.
I absolutely agree with you. There has been, and something we cover on our show a lot, an intentional and unfortunate whitewashing of American history that should not be erased. and should not be ignored in terms of teaching young generations of Americans. So once again, thank you for that. To this point of hosting TV or a hosting TV show, a lot of people know you have filled in for Ellen DeGeneres, and she has announced after 19 years she's leaving. And I'm curious, is that the sort of format, in addition to everything else that you host and are involved in? I don't know where you find the time, Tiffany Haddish, but are you interested in a kind of talk show afternoon format? Because a lot of people really, really loved seeing you do that.
I love filling in for my friend. You know, I think of that like when I used to work at the airlines and somebody be like, hey, can you cover my shift for me? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. Make sure I get paid what you get paid. I'm cool. I'm good. Like, I'll cover your shift. Do I want to take on her whole job? I have 5 things that I'll need to accomplish before I even start strongly considering that. Because that is a huge task and that will take away from other things that I'm trying to do. And if I accomplish these 5 things that I want to do, by the time I want to accomplish it, that will create 1,600 jobs.
Wow.
So I'm going to do that first, because doing that show is not going to create 1,600 jobs. That doesn't create necessarily, it's not going to necessarily create generational wealth for others. If I create those 1,600 jobs, each one of those employees will make a minimal, but I think they'll make more, but minimally be able to at least afford 1 year of a college semester for their kids. So that's what I'm interested in. When I say yes to something, I'm thinking about everybody that's on board and how can I create, if I say yes, how does this create generational wealth?
Wow.
And not just for the high up executives, not just for the high up executives. And I'm thinking all the way down to the PAs, bro. I'm thinking about everybody.
Willing, before I move off, are you willing to share what any of those 5 things are for our viewers? You certainly don't have to if you're keeping them close, but
yeah, I'm doing
just out of curiosity,
a movie based on, yeah, for sure. I'll share. I'm not going to share exactly every single 5 thing, but I'll share. I'm doing a movie based on some stories out of my book. I'm doing a sci-fi movie as well. I'm producing, writing, created a sketch comedy series that I'm very excited about. I'm very, very excited about that one, actually. That news will be dropping soon.
Okay.
There's another movie that I'm working on that I have to transform my whole darn body for. And I've been working on that very, I don't know if you noticed, but I've lost a lot of weight. I mean, this outfit that I have on right now, I wore to a premiere of one of my movies 2 years ago. And let me just show you. Look, it's the skirt. The skirt's really loose. Look how much weight I lost. That's a big difference right there. You see? So, and I still got more to do. And I want to open a grocery store. I want to open a grocery store in my community, and I'm shooting that as well. Like, I'm filming the process of that. It's very difficult. You know, I remember I was that kid that used to be like, why doesn't Oprah come over here and open something over here? Why she don't have a bank over here? Why she don't put a school over here? Why she don't do this over here? And it's hard. It is hard. And the politics involved in it is ridiculous. And it feels like it don't matter how much money you got. And I don't have a whole lot. And apparently it don't cost that much to open up a grocery store. But it does have a lot of politics involved in it.